go back and see.
All right, sounds good. All right, so you've done stuff with oil before, right?
Yes.
You pretty much know the basics of cash secured puts and credit spreads and like how to set them up. Do you have any questions on that stuff?
No, I think I'm good on that part.
Okay. What are some of the main strategies that you've done like in the past that you like in terms of what delta is, how far away from the money?
Mm, So I'm not using any strategy as such. Means
Okay.
when I started doing this last year, I think in springtime, and that time means I don't know, I was lucky or what, or market was going up, so I made some good money. But then when market started going down, I lost that and a lot more. And like as example, so what was this stock? Give me 1 second. Let me see. Mm, there is this stock, right? What was his name? Uh, wait, UPST, Upstart.
Oh yeah. Oof. It got hit so hard. It got hit
Yeah,
worse than my face.
yeah.
Oh,
So I think it was its earning last year or sometime this year. It was running around $90, and then I said, "Oh, it's a good stock. It always goes up after the earnings. Let me sell a put on that." So I sold a $65 put for like 100 something dollars,
uh-huh.
and it dropped so hard. It went to like $22 after earnings from a 70 80 something, and then jumped back to 35 something. And so I lost on that. And then there was another stock, MMAT.
Yep. Metamaterials.
Yeah, so so I bought couple of thousand, around $4.
Uh-huh.
It went to around $1 something. I sold it, and then after a month or so, it jumped back to $6. So yeah,
They're the thing. I think they're doing some weird thing of a merger where a lot of people are complaining.
yeah.
I forgot on that. But okay. Yep. So you like doing those, or I mean, not like doing, but you have done pretty high IV positions. That means that they're very volatile stocks and they can move a lot. Where are you selling these strike prices at? Were they pretty close to the initial price, or were they pretty good cushion? You remember?
So so how I was doing was I was looking at the support for last 3 months,
Yeah.
and then seeing, okay, are there any real chances of stock dropping that, or
Right.
looking at some previous supports and then just randomly sell it. But after doing quite badly last year and this year starting, so what I did was I completely stopped, and I was not even doing the mat oil trades. So just I think 2 months back when the weekly oil trade started, so then I started doing that, and those have been good so far.
Mhm.
But yeah, and then yeah, I'm selling puts on American Airlines and Ford for a
Okay.
month now,
Mhm.
and those are also going good. Means it's not that much, but at least I don't have a
Right.
headache when
They're
they
they're
will.
pretty decent IV. They're not going to shoot up or down a ton, and they make decent premium and stuff. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Um, are you more comfortable with selling secured puts or credit spreads?
Anything is fine. Means I'm right now, as an example, I have a like just $2,000 in my Robinhood account, and I have 16K in my TD Ameritrade.
Okay.
So TD Ameritrade, I'm just selling those puts on American Airlines and Ford and the oil trades.
Okay.
And
That's fine.
with the Robinhood one, I'm doing that, the bullseye. I set it up for the bullseye trade.
Okay.
Yeah. But other thing
Just
is like,
got, I just got out of the bullseye at a slight profit. But
mm,
it was near 60% loss at one point. But that was
for
luck.
me, I entered late. It was like 40% lost. But in the morning when I see, oh, it's scoped up a lot, I just sold it. For me, I'm just starting with one contract, so I
Yeah.
just sold for like a $10 loss or something.
I would only do one contract with that account size. Right. Um, so yeah, like when you look through the trades that I give, every day I'm gonna give one credit spread, like the put credit spread side where it'll use up to $500 because it's a 5 with spread. So that's the most you could possibly lose on it. But we're also
Uh,
going to get out of the trade earlier than that because we don't want to lose the full $500. And then the second one is a cash secured put. And those are very different types of companies. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of a safer one and won't pay as much in return. Sometimes we'll look at the meta type stocks, but we go really far out of the money. And then we also try to buy them back early on at a profit. So, excuse me, when you're looking at the very high implied volatility like MetaMat, where they move up and down so much, you don't want to stay until the expiration date because there's a good chance that you might drop down a lot and then get assigned. So for those, if you ever consider taking any of those, definitely try to do those buy to close prices that I put in. Like if you look at the trade from yesterday, we did BITO, that's the Bitcoin ETF, where it's slightly volatile. I mean, it can move a bit, but we're selling it at $19. We're gonna buy back at $10. Does that make sense?
yes.
Yeah, so by doing it that way, we don't have to stay in the trade the whole time. In many cases, we could get out in a week or two. And then you make your 1, 2%, and then just get out and do it over and over again. So what I like to do is have a lot of different positions open, just so you're not spreading your risk all in one place. So if you have a lot of positions going with those credit spreads, especially $500 each, if you could do, you know, I would recommend at least like 6 of them, and then
Okay.
possibly get into 10 to 15 once you get more comfortable of actually managing it. It's not a huge account size. Like 6 of them will need about $3,000, and then you could just cycle them in as they come in.
Okay. So,
That makes sense?
yes. So I'm looking at theta trades, the various things. So first one is the option trades, right?
Yes.
So like I see a BITO for $19, 19.19, and so the AMAT it dropped pretty hard today.
It did. It
So
dropped real hard. Someone was already commenting right before our call about it. It's under general question, or it's under option trade questions. He's writing about it right now.
okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't do the same strikes that I alerted it at yet right now because it's too risky.
Okay. Now, I was looking at it earlier. So if I do 80 and 77.5, it's giving the same trade. Do you
Yeah,
think that's a good idea to open
I
that or leave?
recommended the 80/75 to someone that I just was on a call of right before you.
Okay.
But yes, the one that you're looking at too is fine as well.
Mm. Oh,
So
the
yeah,
80,
if
87 or
no, the 80/75, or you said you were looking at the 77.5.
in 80 and 77.5.
Yeah, you could do that too. That would only use up $250 instead of $500 because it's only a 2.5 width.
Okay.
Well, it'd use up less money to do it. And you can make, yeah, that's a good one too. Because you could make about $18 off it, and you're only using $250 in your buying power.
Okay. And others which I was looking for was the Bros, Dutch Bros. So
Yeah.
I like their coffee too. They are building new stores.
Where do you
I
live, by the way? What state or city?
I'm in Bay Area, actually not in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, a little bit further out.
Okay.
So it's called Central Valley. So all
Yeah.
the farms and everything, all the produce, it grows here.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, I didn't
yes,
realize they're out there too. They're trying to expand throughout the country. I'm in Texas and they're growing really hard around here.
yes. So
There's
here
like
also
we
they
got
have
5
opened.
new stores this year in the San Antonio area.
Okay, so they opened I think three or four within last 2 years here in Central Valley, but
Uh-huh.
in Bay Area they haven't opened any. So I
No,
don't know why.
maybe eventually. All right, so for the bros one, I said we would do the 25 put, the 0.65. I think it's still fine to do it if you have the cash for it. It is
No.
25 times 100 though, or $2,500. if you're going to do it fully cash secured. Now, the trades that I give there are meant for an adequate return without any margin if you don't need to at all. You could do them with margin. I personally don't because I want to be pretty conservative with my money. So that's
Yeah.
something to consider. Like if you did it with margin, you wouldn't need $2,500. You might be able to do it for about half that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just something to consider. I personally don't like using margin on these because I'm happy with 1 to 2% in a month anyway, and I don't need to actually get very risky on the margins for it. You could make
Okay.
more on margin, obviously, if you're using less money. Most of the time on the CSP, the cash report side, they won't be that high of a strike price. A lot of times, if you just browse through it, we're looking around three all the way to say 20, 25. And that's the highest one I've done in a while, actually.
Okay. And okay. So yeah, so that one I pretty much straightforward. I got most of it.
Mhm.
And stock at 1048, delta point 15, wheel if assigned. Okay. So the next zero day to expiry
Uh-huh.
SPX. So that you said use Tastyworks, right?
I use Thinkorswim for these also.
Okay.
Thinkorswim's a better platform for them because you can put your stops in. And Tastyworks, I don't think they allow stops on them.
Okay.
So the
And
way the
yeah.
zero DTE works is I'll usually do the alert either right at market open. Right now I'm not teaching, so I'm free in the morning most days. But usually it's going to be around 9 o'clock Central Time. So about 30 minutes after the market opens. I'll say what the SPX price is at. CCS for today was a call credit spread. And then
Yes.
you would sell the 3,900 and buy the 3,910. So this would use up $1,000 in your account because it's a 10 with spread.
Okay.
We go 10 with because the commissions are a little higher. So you want to be able to get a good premium based on the commissions you're paying.
Okay, got it. Yeah,
Now,
I'm looking at it, and then it really dropped within few minutes, and
yeah,
I said,
that's why I got out of it right away. I was like, because you saw, like, I entered the trade a minute at open, and then I got out literally 10 minutes later because I already made my 1% or so.
Okay. Okay. So the 3 month spy,
These are
that is
market dated, obviously. It's going to be 90 days out. Um,
okay.
I do these on the OPEX days. So for the Monday after the third Friday. The third Friday is when you have a lot of options that expire. And then we typically do it the Monday after. You can still get in that one if you want. It's pretty close to the same.
Okay.
These are 5 with spreads. You only need $500. I'm going to always do iron condors on these. Try to get premium on both sides, the call and the put side. And then
Okay.
and then in this one, you can make $85. It would take 3 months to get there though. So what I tend to do on these, if I can make 5% of my money in the first month, I usually just get out of it.
Okay.
So 85 minus 25 would be 5%. If it gets to 0.6 by the end of the next OPEX, I usually just buy it back. And then you made 5%.
Okay.
If it doesn't buy back in the first month, just let it go and still wait. I have that stop order in place.
Okay. Yeah. And so the last one, the future. So that's the one you said use Tastyworks.
Yes, for futures, I use Tastyworks because the
Okay.
commissions are lowered. Essentially, the commissions when you first enter the trade are about the same in Tasty and Thinkorswim. But if you end up closing them, like say you could close it at a good profit, Tasty would not charge nearly as much. They only charge the exchange fees for that. But
Okay.
Thinkorswim charges the full commissions with exchange fees. So it's almost doubled.
Okay. And it does it the same for oil also, or?
Yes, it's pretty much the same throughout all of them.
Oh,
For the
okay.
oil one, you're still okay with Thinkorswim because you're only doing one. I think it's a strangle, right? And you're only doing one per week, and you're using up about $8,000 to $10,000. So saving about you would save maybe $4 or $5 total if you went to Tasty. So it's not really the end of the world there.
Okay.
But for these that I'm doing with say MES, you're only making $30, $40 on some of these trades. So that's why I think Tasty is more important for that because it's a bigger percentage of what we're trying to make in commissions.
Okay. Got
If
it.
you're fine with Tasty on your Matt's oils, you might as well just stay there though.
Okay. And yeah, I was on Tasty only, and then I saw there was a difference of like $2 something
Yeah,
for the strangle.
yeah,
I was doing a strangle on those instead of like just selling put and
right.
credit calls. So but I didn't realize that closing also Tasty
Yeah.
charges
You got to
closing
look
charges.
at the actual financial reports you get in your email in the middle of the night because they'll send like the daily reports out. And I literally like went through with a fine tooth comb to add up all those fees that they charge. And then I noticed Tasty is cheaper for the futures. For regular stocks and options, it's almost the same as Thinkorswim. So it really doesn't matter there. But futures, they are cheaper.
Okay. And next question I had was, so what's the difference between the lands trade under inner circle and the other
Okay.
trades?
All right, so that was like an additional benefit I'm giving to yearly and annual and lifetime members, where I'm going to show every trade I do that's not one of the trade alerts, the ones that we just looked at. So for the trade alerts, I try to do about 80% or so of all those trades in my own account. But I also have additional funds available. For the inner circle trades, I show every other trade that I might do. For the Lance's Trades channel, I'm trying to grow about a $12,000 account using only futures. So I'm
Okay.
showing every strangle, every covered strangle and whatnot on that particular channel. I'll also be posting any of the long-term buy and holds that I do. Like for my Roth IRA, I already maxed out the Roth IRA this year, but in January we'll start that again, and then I'll show whatever I buy in my Roth IRAs. So if you're ever interested in any of those longer buy and hold type stocks, I'll do some covered calls there for safer type positions. Like we did one on Maine, which they pay a good dividend, and I'm going to be covered call against it as well. So it
Okay.
gives a bit of an extra things there. For the Lance's workshop, it's just my thoughts on what I might be wanting to do on these particular trades and the reasons why. So just a little extra benefit.
Okay.
Any other questions you have?
Yeah. I'm just going through the Discord.
Yeah, that's fine.
And yeah. And somehow I don't get notifications like whenever somebody posts there. I tried doing everything. I had the same issue when I was member of the Eagle Trades. I tried reinstalling the app,
It's somewhere in
did
the
everything.
settings there. I know like some of the basic parts for the settings, like if you go to trade alerts on your top right, you want to make sure the notification says all messages. You might have actually clicked nothing at one point there. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's going to be hard
Yeah.
to actually troubleshoot that right away. But let me show
Yeah.
you my shared screen. So if you go to say option trades here, see the bell notifications. You'd want to make sure it has all messages there.
Okay. I had all messages for the whole Theta group. Let me try the option trades. Notification.
For the trade alerts, I'm the only one that could type on there anyway. So you won't be getting flooded with other people. On the member chat channels, other people can right there. So if you did want to mute any of those, you could decide to. then we're not that busy and we don't necessarily chat like left and right every second. But if I wanted to mute one of those, you would mute just this channel. See?
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
The
Got
times
it.
that I usually post these for option trades would be around right now. So I'm gonna post today's for tomorrow, like right after we're done. The zero DTE, I usually do it within 30 minutes after market open. The 3 month SPY is the Monday after the third Friday. It's only once a month. And the futures, I usually do them on Sunday evening or Monday morning.
Okay.
For Lance's trade stuff, that's whenever I actually make a trade. So there's no real times on those.
Okay. Uh, the futures one, MES 33 days.
Mhm.
So that's giving $34 and the collateral is $1,000, right?
Yes, because the initial collateral says 428, but I'm gonna leave 572 in cash. So it's gonna be a total of $1,000. The 572 in cash, you're not gonna trade with it. You just leave it in your account as available cash. Okay.
Okay.
And the reason why we do that is if this goes against us a little bit, we got to make sure that we're still okay in the trade. We don't want to get margin called or anything like that. So that's why I'm leaving this extra cash on the side just to deal with those situations.
Okay. Got
These
it.
the futures trades are meant for a pretty consistent 2 to 3% in a month. And that's what the goal I have.
Okay. Got it.
I'm gonna start writing out today's alert, but feel free to ask any questions as I'm doing that.
Okay.
I gotta change my strikes. I usually write down my daily alerts around 10 o'clock or so, but the stocks move so much, I gotta change the numbers. It's riskier now.
And this will go in which channel? The futures one or option trades?
Option trades, that's what I post around now every day.
Okay.
It's gonna be IWM, January January 20th, so 29 days out. We're looking at 153 and 148. It was a little higher at first, but I had to move the strikes because it's dropping even more from the morning. 157. Okay. And then we're cash secured put. We're gonna look at Carnival Cruise Line, it looks like. 7.63. We're gonna sell the 6.5. Yep, that's still good. Make more now. 0.2. All right. So I'm about to post it on the Discord. I gotta do it through my phone. Let's see. And 3, 2, 1. It's posted. All right, did you see a notification pop up on your end that I just posted a trade?
Yes, I got it.
Okay. So if you have funds available, like you would only need $500 for that IWM one. And it did drop a lot, but I think it's still a safe strike. I don't think it's going to continue dropping that heavily.
Okay.
Do you know how to enter trades for credit spreads?
Yes. So sell the lowest, the one near the money, and then buy the.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll show you how I manage these two. Once you put the order in, I'll show you how to do that. Okay. Here's what I would do with that. So let's say you got, I am sharing my screen. All right. So for IWM on Thinkorswim, I would right click the price, right click, then click create alert. And then on the alert, I said alert at 157, right? So if it starts dropping, not all the way to 153, but getting close to it, let's say 157, I want to set an alert where it's at or below that 157 price. So it is going against us, but we're not at the max loss yet. I'm going to click create alert. And then it'll notify me on my phone, or Thinkorswim will say whenever it gets below that 157, then I would look at the contract to see how much would it currently be at. Obviously, if it gets to 157 in the next day or two, that's really bad for this trade, and I'll just get out of it. If it hits 157 with like 2 or 3 days before it expires, it's probably still a safe trade. I might just close it out for a little bit of a profit. So it really depends on when it touches that alert. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
So I'm a little different than Matt, where I'm just gonna stop out of some trades and not rolling. I don't roll almost ever. So I know he might roll some positions a lot, and that's a lot more managing. I just treat all these as individual trades, and it's all a numbers game. Like how many are we winning, how many are we losing? And it's a little
Yeah.
easier. It's a little easier to manage that way, and you won't get stuck in a position where you might have some really heavy losses by rolling over and over.
Yeah. So the are you in that weekly Tesla trade with Matt?
No, I'm not part of Matt's program at all. We're separate people.
No, I thought you might have subscribed to it.
No, I don't subscribe to any of this stuff. So Tesla's
Okay.
been getting hit really hard.
Yeah, I mean, earlier, I think when I was dropping, no, Tesla was dropping, but Spy was doing okay. So Matt switched from Tesla to Spy for that week, and
Uh-huh.
it dropped like 200 points on Friday. So
Wow.
it wiped all of my profit I had from for like last 4 or 5 months. And now, means for last month or so, whatever profit was there for the whole year, they are completely wiped.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So
See, like, because he doesn't stop out of them. I would have stopped out way before that would have happened.
yeah. So what I means after the first means disaster with the Tesla stock, what I started doing was if he alerts to sell the $150 put, say, and the stock price is 170,
Mhm.
instead of selling at 150, what I was doing was I was doing $5 or $10 less,
Okay.
getting, yeah, so just to be on the safe side. But
Yeah.
even that is not working anymore. Example, for this week, he's asked us to sold the 151,
Yeah.
but stock price right now. Yeah.
You said
And
the
then
50, it's at 124.
yeah.
At that point, like, you're stuck because you don't the trade already. You have to keep rolling forever and hoping, or show a big loss.
Yeah,
If
means
I was,
we
if like personally, like right now, if it's at 124 and I said sell 100 for next week, if it got to 110, I'm out of the trade already. I'm not gonna just stay in it because I don't care about the win. Like the win rate to me doesn't make much of a difference because if you get wiped out on one trade, like that just defeats the purpose anyway. So I would just stop out of it. I usually try to stop out at 3 times the credit received. So if you took in, say, $30 on a credit spread, if it gets to $90, I'll just stop out and just get out of the trade completely. But that's
okay.
just me. I mean, we all have our opinions on how to manage these things. You'll see with data traders that the trades that we do, like we're not going to be having to roll and like manage because it's just so much to actually deal with when you're rolling all these different positions too. I just treat them as individual trades and get out, you know?
Yeah, the same thing I did, I think 2 weeks back, when it was at 150 and we were told to roll over to January 16, I think, 125.
Uh-huh.
And that time it was a small loss. I think it was $30 something loss.
Yeah.
And I took the loss. I said I don't want to roll over. And good thing I didn't.
Uh-huh.
It's down so much. But yeah, so this is good. Means that was I was looking for. Means I as I said, I was a member of Eagle Trade. I took the lifetime membership, and then mm, what was Mark trades were all going, and then
Yeah.
Tesla was okay with the weekly trade. That was the only good thing in the whole Eagle Trade group. But even that's gone all south.
Yeah. Yeah. Malcolm was doing some weird stuff. I didn't get what Malcolm was up to sometimes.
Yeah, means
I
I stopped.
was watching Eagle trades for a little bit, but then it just dissolved completely.
Yeah, I took a break for like 6 months or so, and then when I logged into Discord and I said, "No, what happened to Eagle Trade?"
Yeah.
I I had a shock. Means where did it go?
Right. All right. So I gotta get going. I gotta feed my kids. They're pretty hungry here.
Hey, don't worry,
So
this is helpful,
yeah.
and I've looked into all the trades. I have any question, I will send you a message.
Sounds great. Yeah, feel free. I'm very wide open. So any little question you have, you could send me on the Discord, the private message, or feel free
Okay.
to ask the group too if you have a group question, because we have a lot of different levels of traders. We have some real true beginners. The guy I talked to last hour, he's pretty much a beginner. And then we have some people that do really advanced strategies too. So you could get different advice from many different levels here.
Okay. Yeah, and one last thing, I saw your post on the bullseye trade that you will not mention the ticker, but you will
Yeah.
mention the strategy.
Yeah.
So, so that will be ongoing, or it's just
I guess
temporary?
so. This is the first week I did it this way. I
Okay.
might, but I'm not going to mention the ticker because I don't want people knowing what the ticker is. There's a
Yeah.
few people that are in Bullseye and Theta, and Bullseye is completely anti-Theta trader. Like the strategy is the exact opposite of what we do.
Yes.
So I'll mention it. I'm only going to do maybe $500 to $1,000 total on it. I'm not. It's a very small percent of my account.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
Means
mention where I get in. I won't say the ticker symbol. I'll just say in at 1.9, and then I might say just sold for, because I did just sell like a few hours ago. I don't know what it filled at, 1.2 or something. Or sorry, 2.1, I think. So it was a very small profit. It was very little, but it could have been a lot worse. Luckily, I got out before it was a big loss.
yeah, I got in at 1.3. I sold it this morning at 1.1. So
Yeah.
not that much of a loss for me.
I sold the original one 1.9, I think. I bought it at 1.9. I just sold for 2.15. So that's enough for a free lunch, I guess.
Yeah.
That's about it. Better than losing like $190, right?
Yeah, better than that.
Right. All right. So
Okay.
it's been good talking to you. And
Yeah,
again,
same
feel
here.
free to let me know in the Discord. I'm very open, and any questions you have, feel free. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Have a good rest of the day.